Hamlet, Prince of Denmark, is considered by many William Shakespeare's magnum opus. This popular tragedy deals with murder, betrayal, duty, revenge, consequences, and the spiritual world. In Act 1, Scene 2, we join the prince as he tries to comprehend how his mother could have wed his uncle within just a few short months. He is overwhelmed by the situation, contemplating his mother's choices and wishing he could simply disappear. His blasts of emotion are memorable as he moves from certainty to quandary, finally resolving that he must shut his mouth and move ahead with life until he knows what to do.
Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew. Or that the everlasting had not fixed his cannon 'gainst self-slaughter.
Oh God, how weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of this world. Fie on it, oh fie, 'tis an unweeded garden that grows to seed. Things rank and gross in nature possess it merely.
That it should come to this, but 2 months dead, nay, not so much, not 2. So excellent a king that was to this Hyperion, to a satyr, so loving to my mother that he might not beteem the winds of heaven visit her face too roughly.
Heaven and earth, must I remember? Why, she would hang on him as if increase of appetite had grown by what it fed on. And yet, within a month, let me not think on't. Frailty, thy name is woman.
A little month, or ere those shoes were old with which she followed my poor father's body, like Niobe, all tears. Why, she, even she, oh God, a beast that wants discourse of reason would have mourned longer.
Married with my uncle. My father's brother, but no more like my father than I to Hercules, within a month, ere yet the salt of most unrighteous tears had left the flushing in her galled eyes, she married.
O most wicked speed, to post with such dexterity to incestuous sheets! It is not, nor it cannot come to good. But break my heart, for I must hold my tongue.
In Act 2, Scene 2 of Hamlet, we see the prince resolving to take some concrete actions. He has already warned his inner circle of friends that he will pretend to be insane. He is angry at himself for not being more aggressive, and he is bothered that actors pretending about life seem more adept at using their emotions than he does. He accepts he has no excuse. He must do something. A burst of insight occurs to him. He will rewrite a popular play, fitting it more to the circumstances of his father's death. He and a compatriot will watch the king's responses to see if the ghost has been trustworthy in his charge.
Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I! Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul so to his own conceit, that from her working all his visage wand, tears in his eyes, distraction in his aspect?
Yet I, a dull and muddy-mettled rascal, peak and can say nothing. No, not for a king upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made.
Am I a coward? Who calls me villain, breaks my paid cross, plucks off my beard and blows it in my face, tweaks me by the nose, gives me the line throat as deep to the lungs? Who does me this?
Swoons I should take it, for it cannot be but I am pigeon-livered and lack gall to make oppression bitter. Or ere this I should have fatted all the raging kites with this slave's awful bloody body, villain! Remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless villain! Oh, vengeance!
Why, what an ass am I! This is most brave, that I, the son of a dear father murdered, prompted To my revenge by heaven and hell must like a whore unpack my heart with words and fall a-cursing like a very drab, a scullion. Fie upon it, foe!
I have these players here. Play something like the murder of my father before mine uncle. I'll observe his looks. I'll tempt him to the quick. If he but blench, I know my course.
The spirit that I have seen may be the devil, and the devil hath power to assume a pleasing shape. Yea, and perhaps out of my weakness and my melancholy, as he is very potent with such spirits, abuses me to damn me. I'll have grounds more relative than this. The play's the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king.
The final scene we will enjoy, Act 3, Scene 1, contains the best known of William Shakespeare's soliloquies. Hamlet is overwhelmed. In a speech of deep-seated emotion and transcendental contemplation, he considers suicide, shrinking back because he is unsure of what eternity holds. He reckons that bearing up under pain and misery come in part because life is about making the best of excruciating situations. He resolves to not shrink back, but commit himself to action. Ophelia enters the room, and knowing what he may be required to do, he solicits her prayers.
To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing, end them.
To die, to sleep, no more. And by a sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep. To sleep, perchance to dream, aye, there's the rub.
For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life.
For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin?
Who would fardels bear? To grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns, puzzles the will and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of.
Thus conscience does make cowards of us all. And thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with the pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pith and moment
With disregard, their currents turn awry and lose the name of action. Soft you now, the fair Ophelia. Nymph, in thy orisons be all my sins remembered.
We will call this place our home, the dirt in which our roots may grow. Though the storms will push and pull, we will call this place our home. We'll tell our stories on these walls, every year measure how tall, and just like a work of art. We'll tell our stories